Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Digital Experience Iteration Planning Meeting. We'll go over what we plan on releasing over the next 2-week period. So first up for the sprint, I believe, is Brandon.
Yeah, so let me scroll to this. Okay. The first thing I'll be working on is there's been in our backlog an issue for a while now where we want to add FAQ accordions to the pricing page. Right now, it's just each item has its own click and they're not grouped. So we want to, finally make good on that thing we've been wanting to build now that we have a little bit of downtime once the next price A/B test has been, or the pricing page A/B test has been released. So I'll be working on that. And then there's an ongoing issue for me to investigate our localization platform and how that works and how we can use it. So I'll be putting some effort towards that this sprint as well. And next up is Lauren.
We're going to launch a Ruby 3.0 upgrade for the www repo this morning. So I've got a point for monitoring that. I'm going to continue working on getting the handbook separation working group fired up. So got a point for there. And then I'm also working on getting deploy preview links to work for Netlify CMS. I got a couple good ideas, so I'll just keep cracking away at that. I'm going to help review the template assembly in Slippers for the event template. But Tyler's gonna do most of the stuff. I'll just give it a second pair of eyes. And then a couple event components in the www repo, the copy block with images. And there's this cool plugin that we're using now for the copy. So there might be a follow-up MR there to assist with the blog typography. And then I'll also build the event CTA blocks. And over to Tina.
Thanks. I have a few priorities for this iteration. I'll be wrapping up our prospects to free trials OKR, which involves looking at a little bit more data that I've requested from Niall. I'm hoping to create a deck to note some insights and recommendations. And if I have it in me and everything's in good place, I might create a walkthrough video. I also want to clean up our cards in Figma and align them to the work that Sammy did in Storybook. And I've also just picked up the install issue, so I'll start looking into that and work on that this week. That'll probably be my focus for the top of the week. And I've reserved 1 point for reviewing MRs for the events page template and other types of coordination that I need to do for that. And that's it for me. And we've got Sammy.
Awesome. Thank you, Tina. So this week, I'm going to be working on the highlighted partners page, the template that I already developed in Lo-Fi. So Jesse already developed the iFi on Figma. So I'm going to be working on that to make sure that all the related partners page like HashiCorp, AWS, Red Hat, and all of them are going to be looking very similar and very awesome. So that is what I will be working on this week. It's going to be like 6 issues and 1 single merge request. So the next person is Tyler.
Well, thank you. Yeah, first up, like Barker said, Ruby 3 upgrade is going to be super awesome. I think it'll be pretty smooth. We have a lot of details there, but I blocked out a bunch of time for myself to like be around in case people have problems and need some assistance upgrading. So that's the first up. I'm going to finish up the event navigation, which I wrapped on Friday and Barker reviewed earlier today or end of last week. And then, so that's pretty much like almost ready to go. Just needs Tina, if you wouldn't mind taking a look at it, then we can merge that in. Once that's in, that's the last missing piece for the event template. So there's a touch of like integration work there and then like some final review work, but I'm feeling really good about that. And then from there, I'll pivot over to like the integration in about.gitlab.com. So I'm only going to target one thing for this iteration, which is just those video blocks, because that's a big one. I'd like to get that out of the way earlier. And then I've got a couple small things. A blog post that I wanted to write weeks ago after we did the blog template in Slippers. And I finally carved out some time for it. I'd really like to prioritize getting that done this iteration while it's still somewhat timely. So I like to get that complete. I've got a small note about documenting how to document in Slippers, and then I will take a look at this deploy preview link alongside Barker too. So up next is Laura.
Yeah, thanks. This sprint, like Tina had mentioned, I will probably take on the engineering side of the install page updates once those come in. And then I assigned myself a few of the pieces of the events template, implementing them in the www repo. So I took on the header block, and then a couple of pieces that I built in Slippers, the announcement, the countdown, and the partners block. So I took those on, and then I have a little bit of finish up work for the from last iteration for an issue where in the blog confetti was covering certain parts of the screen. So I haven't implemented that in www yet. So I'll finish that up. And I'm spoke with Michael, and I'll be doing the next Git 101 session. So I'll plan that out and put that on the calendar for whoever would like to attend. And then up next is Javi.
Okay, hello. If you're watching the recording of this, you can just watch like last week's and skip. Essentially, I've been carrying like the things over from previous iterations, but things that I want to get done. For MVC2, small accessibility things, that should be like half a point. I should just do it. I want to work on our component generator next, just because that's something that I've been carrying throughout my iterations, and that's something that's, yeah, I think would be beneficial for the experience of developing in this repository. Navigation MVC 1.1, essentially getting feedback on a navigation header for www, integrating that in, keeping our MR small. So I made a 1.1 instead of having like this massive MR that just keeps getting merge conflicts all the time. And landing page dev SecOps survey, I'm no longer blocked on that, and we're good to continue with that. And so that's, after I get through the component generator, after I work on footer MVC2, that's like the next thing on my plate. And after that, the remainder of my iteration will be spent on navigation work. So very, very exciting. Up next is Jess.
Thanks. So I did a new button for Slippers, which has an icon attached to it. So if we want to work with a partner like GitHub or Salesforce or Google, whoever, we can have their logo in there. So I'm going to add that. We've added it into Figma, and I just add it into the whole repo, etc. And then I'm still working on the free trial page design, but at this point it's mostly just needing to get the copy updates, and then I can implement them in. I didn't hear any feedback back outside of our team, so I'm hoping that just means it's awesome, we're good to go. And then the next iteration for the pricing page is adding this kind of enterprise sales contact section. So that's going to be the big one for the week. There's a couple other little Slippers library components that just made some minor updates to, so like buttons and form fields and whatnot, that I just need to kind of put those into an issue, so again can get it out to you guys to develop them. And then I also am just catching up a little bit this week. So a few weeks ago we did research for the free trial page, but we kind of did some bonus research around the homepage and DevOps page, and I just need to do the readout for those things. And Stephen is not here, and his work this week is a mystery, so I think that's it for us.
Awesome. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next time.